Action.
Turn a little bit, the left shoulder, the other way, the other way. There you go. Now straight ahead. A little bit to the right, when you walk. There you go.
Stop!
Continue.
Stay where you are! Oh, God! Stop! Stay where you are! Stop or I'll shoot!
Rain's coming up.
Sorry, back a little bit. Do that. Get it in. Lock it in.
And action! Cutting!
Bravo camera marker.
Set.
Listen, honey, I know what you're doing. The doctors say we gotta keep the medication going.
Ready, and action! You open here, but you know it's somewhere here, so you push. You have just a little click length,
And then the other thing
you
that
know.
I have to think about yourself
But
is
then from that moment it become like, it could be here, you know. It could be here and you block. So I'm agree, you know, you can look under, there's nothing. Then you look here. Now that's the last one. And now we hear clearly that it's coming
Okay.
from here.
Tanya, just go to your left a little,
Yeah,
please.
I'm not there yet.
Action!
No! No, get back! Get back! Get back! Stop!
Thank you, Indeed, cast the first stone. Lambs without a shepherd. It's your sins which hold you here.
Stop being
Calm
lying!
down.
Calm down.
It's okay. We're not gonna hurt you. Just hey, just what's your name?
Anna. My name is Anna.
What's going on here, Anna? Who was that? What are you doing here? You mean there are other people here?
Isabella makes us safe. We take refuge.
I lost my little girl. She's all alone. Can you imagine how that?
Action!
Rose! Rose! Rose!
She's here. See that? You know what? The wife is here. I didn't know anything. Proof she has not. Put it up. Read through there. She busy. Chris, who's here?
Ready? Rose!
There's no room 111.
You go in the bed, you run behind, and then you run behind the chair.
So I'll be in the bed, and then you'll cue me, and I'll go over there, and then you'll cue me, and I'll go over there. Good!
Give me a five.
Oh, harder than that.
3, 2, 1, go!
Go cross.
I think he's getting an extension because the road power's not in yet. I'm putting this on. Just the usual thing. Oh, did you line it? Yeah. Watch that rain. Watch that rain.
No boots?
Yeah, skirt though, probably.
Oh yeah, no skirt. We got a shirt.
Yes, no boots.
You gotta get inside.
Ready, and action.
Please. We're lost. We need your help. This is a sanctuary.
can make more.
No, I felt that was.
Clear up for rehearsal, please. Clear it up for rehearsal, please. Cheers.
Yeah, let's go.
Walk. And drop. And. Good. And drop. Drop, Rachel.
And flashlight off. Stop!
And Rod, you can step through an angle this way back, and she's going to come at you this way, and it's going to come, boom, and it's going to slide through.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have to have commercial.
And then we can have you bump into somebody there, where you can't go back that way.
Then just
Okay,
slowly
someone here?
follow the leads.
So we'll have this guy.
I bumped into her.
Honey, sometimes when you go to sleep, you go on a little walk, and sometimes you talk about a place.
I don't remember.
That's why we're gonna go there, so you can remember.
To be honest, the first time I read the script, I got through 10 pages, and I was by myself in my apartment, and I put it down because I was too scared to keep reading.
Silent Hill follows a mother worried about her child sleepwalking, who decides that she must take the child to visit a town which is a name the child keeps saying, Silent Hill.
Sharon!
She has an accident, and waking up from that finds that she seems to have slipped into another dimension.
Sharon!
That dimension is full of strange creatures, strange characters,
Anybody!
and a very strange and disturbing story.
Christopher, Sharon's gone. I need your help. I'm not okay. Please, hurry.
It's surreal and it's just different. The fire started 30 years ago. It's like something I've never been involved with before.
Most horror movies create a specific fear that you should worry about. Silent Hill deals with all your own fears and amplifies them.
Sharon? Honey?
I don't know what's happening. Do you know what's going on here?
This place is completely cut off.
Only the Dark One opens and closes the door to Silent Hill.
Where is she? I'm trying to find my wife.
Rose, hurry! It's coming!
Hell is a background for Silent Hill. A demon of some description is a character in the film.
Don't be afraid. She won't hurt you.
I
think Jodelle Ferland is my new favourite actress. She's amazing to work with because she has the concentration of an adult, and you'll see her playing multiple characters in the film, and she does so with incredible ease.
It's kind of like making 3 movies at once because I play 3 different people, but it's not too hard to keep them separate.
Who are you?
I have many names.
As Rose and Sybil make their way through Silent Hill, they confront a number of creatures. These creatures are all originally human. Even the ones who look like cockroaches were originally human, and they are all suffering for their sin, and they all represent a direct threat. But at the same time, they are slightly beautiful and completely revolting.
I've been sort of grossed out a couple times on this movie, just because the demons are so brilliantly done. They are manifestations of what we would find disturbing.
I generally like horror and sort of genre, you know. I'm quite looking forward to seeing it all put together because I think he's got a wonderful vision.
It does cross some boundaries, it does break some rules, and only really talented people, I think, can break the rules.
I think Silent Hill is going to create an entirely new subgenre. It is horror, it is suspense, it's an adventure movie to a certain extent because it's such a grand environment and it's such a huge world that just travelling through it is an adventure.
Everything that you will see in this movie is unique. There is not a formula here.
Most of the people will be interested to see Silent Hill because it's going to be a different experience. It's going to be different.
He's very much a visualist. He comes to the set, I guess, as an artist, almost like a painter, in the way that he constructs these shots, in the way that he conceives the story. And so reading the script, you don't necessarily have a sense of what the film is going to be because, you know, it's very dense. There was a lot of words. But I remember sort of standing in front of one of the sets at the end of the movie, and I was like, Christophe, is this exactly how it looked when the script was being written in your mind? And he's like, yes, this is exactly how it looked. So what was on the script is very much what you see in the film. And a lot of that was in his mind before we even started shooting. What Christophe uses in this movie, and I guess people try to in the rendition of horror films, is the emotion of disgust. And then it's a really exciting kind of emotion, disgust. You know, you're really awake when you're disgusted by something. And he constantly disgusts us with his different, you know, visions and insinuations every day. And he does so with a very French kind of elegance. And this is what I was really surprised by and kind of excited by in working with him. The experience of working on this film is like just jumping into the deep end of a very cold swimming pool and like swimming as fast as you can to get to the shallow end. I mean, I think everybody felt that. It's been full on every day. I mean, every day everybody's been challenged and everybody's been really pushing their limits and doing the best work that they can and taking everything very seriously and really putting their heart into it. And I think that's going to translate into the final product. I mean, we were rehearsing on weekends, the actors. Really, there's a lot of love in it. And as much as it's a kind of dark, dark story, there's a lot of love behind the making of this story.
I spend much of my time in the real world, as it were, in a reality where she spends her time on very different planes. We pass each other in time, and you actually see that happening on screen, but we're not aware. We're both invisible to each other. This is quite an original film. I don't think I've experienced anything like this before. It's in its detail and its psychology. But I generally like horror and sort of genre. You know, I quite like frightening myself and then worrying about it afterwards. I wish I'd never seen a film. But, you know, I'm quite looking forward to seeing it all put together because I think he's got a wonderful vision, a wonderful eye for photography and just something very special about him that's going to make this different. It's a very different film. I mean, I think maybe it's because it's Christoph who's directing it, and his ideas, and he loves this crazy, bizarre, weird stuff. You know, he revels in it, and I find that quite fascinating. You know, and so it's surreal, and it's just different. It's like something I've never been involved with before, and I've not really seen anything like this before.
She serves as a guide to the main character Rose through the matrix of her nightmare. What's really interesting about her name, Sybil, is that it is based on Sybil with an S, which in ancient mythology, they were people who appeared in times of danger to journeymen, and they guided them through the underworld. And what's so interesting is that a modern-day Sybil with the C, I'm here to serve and protect and to guide Rose. This is actually not my first action role, but this is by far my coolest action role. This is my favorite action role for all the reasons we've discussed in terms of, you know, she's an action gal, but she's got a heart. You know, she's a real person, and I just love this character. It's such a gift and such a joy to play.
I play Sharon, Alessa, and Dark Alessa. And it starts off that Sharon is sort of, she keeps wanting to go to this place called Silent Hill, and it's really dangerous because she tries all different things to get there. And so finally, her mom takes her there and hopes that it'll make her better. But then Sharon disappears. So Rose, which is my mom in the movie, she goes through this town full of fog, and she tries to find me, but instead she finds Alessa, and she keeps chasing her, thinking that it's Sharon. And she finds Dark Alessa, which looks a bit like Sharon, so she's all confused. And there's a whole bunch of creatures and weird things that she comes across. It's kind of like making 3 movies at once, except for because I play 3 different people. But it's not too hard to keep them separate. I mean, it's not like I have to play the same people in one scene, so.
Then I go to the makeup side of the trailer, and he puts the makeup on, and he's got to do all these little veins on my face and everything. He paints green and purple veins with, well, there's normally blood coming from my mouth, but it kind of came off, and my eyes.
In most of your film, the monster is waiting for you in the darkness. But in Silent Hill, the monster is not waiting for you in the darkness. He is basically naked in the middle of the street. And you have to run and escape, not necessarily his danger, but his vision. That's the promiscuity with the monster, which is one of the main frightening thing in Silent Hill. The fact that these monsters are everywhere, and they are not so dangerous, they are not so fast. You can easily run and go away, but the fact that they are there, like poor things, in the middle of the street, in the middle of a room, is very disturbing. What was interesting into Silent Hill is what was a representation of 4 different dimensions. And 2 of these dimensions is about time. One is Silent Hill 30 years ago, one is Silent Hill today. And 2 other dimensions is about space. One of them is a foggy world, and the other one is a rusty world, a metallic world, which is basically hell. And I like this idea that we are exploring literally a 3-dimension world. I mean, you know, something between space, time, and maybe metaphysical, mystical dimension.
I like stories that take you from a real world and suddenly bounce into something that's, that doesn't seem to be real. You never quite know. You're always on the edge. Is this real? Is this a real town? Is this a real city? And you never quite know. That aspect of things always seduced me. Really, once again, I mean, reading the script for me felt very familiar. I felt very much at ease from the beginning. It was not a complicated thing. I totally understood from the beginning where this thing was meant to go. And I like the idea that you don't quite know when the reality starts and the dream starts, or is it a dream?